For our next effort, we're going to want to now identify the use of each one of these buildings that are located over the culvert. But when you open up the attribute table, you will notice that there is no information actually about its use other than if it's a deck. Here in type you can see a deck, a building, a patio, or a garage. So if we really cared about that, there's also a couple of miscellaneous as well. That would be of value to us. So if you open up the actual parcel data, we see here within the parcel data, we get a lot more data available to us about its present use, its property type, its lot size, the owner of the lot, the taxpayer, the actual address of that lot, as well as the present use. And so we actually want to here join this. We want to have a spatial relationship where we're joining this data to our building's culvert layer based on its spatial relationship. And so we want to do a spatial join. In the class, I showed you how to do this with the geoprocessing tool, but now I will show you how to do a separate way with the join tool, which actually provides many more options than the spatial join tool in the geoprocessing. To do this, we will right-click the layer that we want the data to be joined to, and we're going to come down here and we're going to go join and relates. We're going to hit join here, and when this box first opens, it's going to say join data, and this top option, it could be just join attributes from a table. We actually don't want that option. We want to join data from another layer based on spatial location. And here we have this dialog box that allows us to kind of do many different kind of ways of joining the data based on its spatial relationship with another layer. The first is we need to identify the layer that we want to join based on its relationship. For us, it's the parcel culvert layer because we want to join this data to our layer based on its relationship. The first option checked here allows us to actually do stuff based on numeric data within it. And so if we wanted to join data to our buildings layer and say we wanted to average out the data, so say if there were a bunch of trees in this watershed or many other watersheds or on parcels, we could actually average, if there were many of these, the trees, the average number of trees in each of these cells. Or we could add up and we can create a sum of all the trees within these elements. The second option is the one that we actually want, that each polygon will be given the attribute of the polygon if it falls completely inside of the layer. If the polygon falls completely inside more than one polygon, the first one should be joined. So this is ideally what we want. And so as you can see here, one limitation is that the polygon has to fall completely inside, where this other spatial join, that was not the case. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to go spatial join 0, 1. So I'm going to actually test this. I'm going to do this now and hit OK. When there, spatial join does not have a projection, please use. And so as you can see here, it doesn't like this because of it doesn't have spatial kind of information. And so this is something to be aware of, that once you get the spatial information associated with this layer, then you'd be able to use that tool. Fortunately, apparently you cannot use that right now, but so we will use the other option. But this is one option available to you. And so what we're going to do is we're going to click the geoprocessing tool here, and we're going to type in spatial join. And hit enter. And the first thing that pops up right here is the spatial join tool that we're looking for. So we're just going to click that. And that'll bring up our dialog box. And so for this first layer, we're going to want to select buildings, culvert, because that's the layer that we want, the target layer for the join to occur. We're then going to want to select our parcel layer that's over the culverts. And once again, we're going to want to save this. I'm just going to call this building use. Hit save. Join one-to-one's perfect. Where it intersects, we could actually change. So here, see, you have much more flexibility in how the relationship for the spatial join will occur. In that previous option, the options weren't as robust. So we're going to go just simply intersect. See, once again here, you could actually have another radius or a buffer distance as well. So I'm just going to hit OK. And some of you will see it letting you know what's happening right here in the corner. For others, you just have to wait. And you will know that it happened correctly if there's a checkbox. If there's not a checkbox or an X, that means it did not work. So for us, it should have worked. So now when I right-click and open up the attributes table for my buildings, I start panning over, I can see now that all of that data is associated with each of my shapes, my buildings themselves. So I can click on this, and I can zoom in. I just clicked on one randomly, and I can see now that that is the structure that I'm actually zooming to. And you could have done this so here, if you want, you can say zoom to selected feature. Since that feature is selected, you can zoom to it and actually see it there. And so those are the two options using the spatial join tools that are available to you. Fortunately, the first one requires you to have actually a spatial projection, though there is another solution which we saw in the geoprocessing tools.